Hello. Ah, best intro. Best intro. I was trying my best to avoid that from happening. That's why I waited as long as I did. Previously on The Last Door. Jeremiah Devitt, alerted by the suicide and mysterious letter of his friend Anthony Beechwood, went in search for the memories of his past that he had lost. Devitt discovered that in school he had taken part in a strange experiment. Its goal was to peek through the veil, the thin line between common reality and the world of horror and madness that lies beyond, under the watch of the Eye of the Bird. During his search, he was inoculated with the drug that they had used back then. The serum made Devitt's mind travel for a few hours to the dreamlike realm of the Veil. There, he met his old classmate, Alexander Dupree, who urged Devitt to join his cause and cross with him to the realm of the bird. When Devitt woke up from his trance, he found himself deeply convinced by his friend's words. He traveled to Dupree's house, where he discovered his friend and dosed himself with a new serum, leaving a catatonic body behind. This new drug was capable of transporting the mind permanently to the Veil and beyond. Finally, Devitt found a vial of the serum and had it injected. He met his friend again in the Veil, and together they walked through the last door, entering a world forbidden to human eyes. Devitt's therapist, Dr. John Wakefield, worried by his patient's disappearance and strange visions, had sought the help of a colleague, Professor Johann Kaufmann, an expert in the occult. Searching Anthony Beechworth's house, Wakefield and Kaufman found a disturbing returned letter in which Anthony had tried to warn Alexander Dupree of what could happen if the door was open. He feared something from the other side might come to ours. They are coming. Board up the windows. None of us could prepare for this. The visions, screaming, were merely a warning. And now it's too late. They are coming. Last night, I had the nightmare again. But this time it was different. This time he talked to me. It was the same unknown street, void of any sound and life. I walked aimlessly as if I were lost. Then I could hear it. The broken tromping on the wet cobblestones. The familiar sound of approaching, limping footsteps. Then, as before, he stood in front of me, gazing unrelentlessly. Is that correct? Should it be relentlessly or unrelentlessly? Like he was expecting something. I might need to write the creators about that, because it could be unrelenting or relentlessly. Unrelentlessly would be a double negative, which would mean that it is with relent, would it not? This time he spoke. Give me back what he took. Nothing else. Give me back what he took. Oh, no. I have fallen asleep again. What time is it? Dawn already. It is time. It was several months since Kaufman and I had found the mysterious letter in Anthony Beechworth's house. A letter never sent, with a cryptic warning of what would happen if a certain door were opened. It bore only the name of the addressee, Alexander Dupree. We felt sure Dupree was key to finding my patient and friend, Jeremiah Devitt, who had disappeared in such strange circumstances. Troubled by the death of his friend Anthony, Devitt visited the school of his childhood and had never been seen again. Kaufman soon conveyed to me his deep concerns and warned that I should conduct any investigations with utmost discretion. He pursued his own research, though his thoughts and methods remained a secret. In his last letter, he requested that I visit East Hill Lunatic Asylum in London. There are reasons to believe that Alexander had been institutionalized there for many years. I was asked to confirm his hypotheses and, if it proved correct, to gather whatever other information might arise. London. East Hill. Season 2, Episode 3, The Playwright. Bye, bye, bye. Illustrated. Ladies and gentlemen, don't miss the latest news in town. Sea monster found in St. Ives. News on the case of the dead ambassador. Canada elects new prime minister. Oh, standard is the London Standard. So this is the East Hill Lunatic Asylum. I hope I can find information on Alexander Dupree here. Alright, so the only reason I bring up the thing about unrelentlessly is because I really want this game to pull as few readers out as possible, and someone might look at that and then take away the wrong message if they truly did mean without relent or relentlessly or something of that nature. I do know that the company that created this is apparently from Spain, so the translation might have been a little bit of an issue. Either way, that's just, a thing I happen to notice. Oh, no, okay, so that's how you leave, apparently. Alright. I was looking to see if there's anything inside of the chariot. Good morning. Ah, yes, a lovely morning. Sunlight of a quite fascinating character. I beg your pardon? The light. It makes everything look different, you see. Light touches things, soaks into them, and changes their nature. It makes them shimmer or makes them die. Do you live here in the hospital? I do indeed. My family is a generous benefactor to East Hill. They had me committed, but I don't blame them. They are just incapable of appreciating my art, or any art, for that matter. They mistake it for insanity. What are you drawing there? I am not just drawing, my friend. I am trying to feel the light, to translate its power to the surface of the paper. Those animals don't like it, though. They don't want me to succeed, so they take them away. They take my drawings, and they study them, and they laugh, because my eyes can see the light, and theirs are blind. But someday everyone will understand. Who are they? The ones who take your art away? Those foolish caretakers. They hide behind a big mirror, where they think themselves safe, and they look at me. They observe me. They even take my notes. Or they even take notes. My name is Dr. Wakefield, and I am looking for a man who lived here some time ago. Would you happen to know one Alexander Dupree? The name does not ring a bell. I've not been here long, though. You should ask the other patients. They may be able to help you. Some have been here for many years. Or you could ask one of the others. Those brutes who keep us here. Oh, would you happen to know where your drawings are now? I suspect they are somewhere in the archive, since I've seen confiscated items taken there before. You seem different from the rest. Can I trust you? I've been trying to sneak in for days now, but Miss Riswell keeps a tight guard on the door. I even stole a key from one of those guards. You're a doctor. Surely you could gain entry. If you could recover my drawings, I would be so grateful. Here, take the key with you. I must go. Have a nice day. A few cardboard sheets lie on the bench. Each shows a perfectly symmetric design in black ink. So I'm guessing they're ink blots then. Large door made of strong metal. It must lead to a secure ward of the hospital. Good morning, madam. My name is Dr. Wakefield. I am a psychiatrist. Oh, my! Good morning. Forgive my manners. I get so excited when we have visitors. We don't get many these days, and certainly we're lacking experts like you. What do you mean you lack experts? Every year we get less funding from the Crown. First, the doctors started to leave. Then it was the caretakers. Now very few remain. But we have a responsibility to our poor patients, do we not? We must take care of them. They cannot be out living with the proper people. We must keep ourselves safe. And our patients too, of course. I'm looking for a man who used to be a patient here a few years ago. His name is Alexander Dupree. Did you perchance ever meet him? Alexander Dupree. Yes, There was one with a foreign name. I remember something of him. A good man, if I recall correctly. An educated man. But there was something strange about him, wasn't there? I believe it scared some of the other patients. You never know with this lot. I'm sorry that I can't remember much. There have been so many people here. It's hard to keep track. Have you worked here for long? Oh, yes, a long time. I can scarcely remember how many years. Time goes slowly in here, and the isolation, the rules don't allow us to leave. I don't know what is happening in the world anymore, but we have our duty, do we not? Who else will care for our patients? May I request access to the Institute's archives? There should be some information there about the man I'm looking for. Mr. Dupree? I am sorry, Doctor, but the archives are private. We must not allow anyone to access them without the proper authority. Many of our patients come from good families, you see, and we take great care and respect their privacy. But do not look so crestfallen. You would not find much in any case. It is a long time since they have been organized. A bookshelf. These books are not volumes of psychiatry or medical science, but old serial novels for patients to read. So you won't let me in here? I'm sorry, sir. The archive is off limits. A serene, bucolic landscape with gentle colors. Oh, they will say that? A portrait of a severe-looking man, most probably the founder of the Institute. An oil picture portraying Dimphna, patron saint of psychiatrists, but also those who suffer neurological disorders and victims of incest. She was killed by her own father, who chopped off her head after she refused to marry him when her mother died. Alright, sure. Let's just start on a heavy note, shall we? The rose window brings a solemn air to the room. This must be the recreational wing, where patients relax and pass time. Perhaps here I can find someone who met Alexander Dupree while he was institutionalized? A man wearing a worn-out military uniform. Lost in God knows what thoughts. A marble bust of Hygeia, Greek goddess of physical and mental health. The stone bust keeps the patients silent company. A cheerful pastoral scene. A sunny beach lapped by the waves of a gentle sea. The warm decoration of this room suggests a great deal of sensitivity to the patient's moral needs. The warm decoration... Oh, no, that's the same. So these are all three just the same thing. Alright. A variety of old-fashioned landscapes that portray nature as tame and welcoming. Yeah, so there's just three different pictures that fall under that category as well. Good morning, madam. My name is Wakefield. I am looking for a former patient of this institution. The rumbling. She doesn't seem to have noticed me. Madam, if I may persist, have you been living here for long? The rumbling. I am looking for a former patient of this hospital. You may have met him. An eyeless gaze. I am looking for a man that you might have met. His name is Alexander Dupree. What a strong reaction upon hearing Mr. Dupree's name. She must have at least met him. How can I get her to talk to me? Good morning. I'm a psychiatrist, Dr. Wakefield. Quite an impressive institution you have here. Can I ask for your assistance? I am a former patient of the institution. Let me try that one again, you guys. Oh, it won't let me. Maybe one of your senior colleagues could know something about this former patient? Well, you could ask Miss Riswell in the entrance hall. She has been here for years, maybe for too long. You know, we caretakers live here with the patients, and we are not allowed to leave the asylum's premises. This life can get to you if you don't take proper care. I try to keep as much distance as possible from the lunatics. The asylum is quite big, but I can't help noticing there aren't many patients around. Well, apart from those in the isolation ward, it is true that there are not many patients at present. But there are even fewer of us caretakers now. There are only 3 for the whole hospital. For what I've been told, in the old times, the income was enough to provide for everything we needed. A complete staff, proper accommodation for the patients, and the best doctors. But as newer, bigger regional asylums were built, the Crown's support has gradually withdrawn from East Hill. Soon everyone started leaving, and this is what remains. Well, thank you in any case. I will leave you to your work in peace. Odd that this window is shuttered. The curtain casts a mottled shadow over this corner of the room. So she must have some form of photosensitivity, I suppose. Glass jar full of a transparent liquid that may or may not be water. There's a coin resting in the bottom. Something tells me that's not water. Looks like a therapy log. Mr. Run's condition has degenerated since the last session. He is restless, as if the morphine had no effect on him. For the last week he's been obsessive, troubled for reasons unknown. The patient's dosage has been doubled, to no effect. Dr. Wendell has been attacked and bitten in the face. 4 men were needed to subdue the patient, Mr. Roan. 3 markings were found on his body upon examination. Self-harm is a possible cause. Mr. Roan is getting better day by day, both physically and mentally. His habits have changed considerably. He now shows an interest in religion and spends his time murmuring prayers, albeit ones unknown to my colleagues and me. An unusually large mirror. Looks like a very expensive mirror. I'd rather not scratch it with the coin. Well, why not? There's a thin piece of metal holding the window open. Mine! Oh, okay. Window is closed abruptly. Dark as the room is now, I can see through the false mirror. There is a man on the other side, heavily restrained, desperately trying to free himself. He has an expression of unbearable horror on his face. Well, that's just no good. I'll keep the coin. Okay. You have some curious drawings right there beside you. Oh, you mean these? They are the only art that makes any sense here. The doctors use them to cajole some patients into revealing secret inner truths. I won't return them to the doctors until they've returned the art they've stolen from me. Okay, so our work here takes a great deal of discipline, Dr. Wakefield, as I'm sure you appreciate. It is rewarding in itself, but I do wish I had something to occupy my mind more. Tell me about the time. How that would help me ease my burden. Well, here, have a piece of metal. Oh, but it's the best piece of metal. Miss Cohen is very upset. Please do not distress her further. I'm having that kind of time again where there's like 2 paintings missing here or something. Where I don't see anything to do. I obviously can't like take stuff off the wall in a place where the people are supervising. I don't see that working very well. Please do not touch them. Have a nice day. Is there something more in the town, maybe? Or does it only let me go here? Oh yeah, there's the newspaper. The asylum? I've never been inside, and I hope I never will. It's full of crazies, you know. Have you seen anything unusual around here? Maybe if you bought a newspaper. It's 6 pence, sir. About the asylum. About the asylum. All right. You know, there's always voices coming from the place at night, crying, singing, and the inhabitants cursing like damned souls. That's the usual. The night was different. It was silent, I tell you. Not a single noise in the whole street. I looked at the madhouse and saw all the windows black. No lights. Everybody asleep in that place? Now that's strange. Then I heard it. It was a scream like no other I've ever heard. Not of a man or a woman, but of a devil from hell. That is very curious indeed. Thank you for telling me. Sure. Goodbye, boy. Goodbye, sir. Why, thank you kindly. How thoughtful you are. This is the hospital archive, where a record of each patient must be stored. If Mr. Dupree was really committed at East Hill, his file would be here somewhere. Portrait of a restrained patient surrounded by caretakers and a doctor. It's been a long time since this desk was last used. It is covered in discarded papers and pins and a noticeable layer of dust. The drawers are all locked. Yes. This cabinet contains many documents detailing the treatment of patients ranging from 2 decades ago to last year. His file is right here. Dupree Alexander, room 108A. All the files are missing. It's as if they'd been torn out. Only a little piece of paper remains with the address written on it, Paul Street, 26. Could that be where Alexander Dupree lived before he was committed to this hospital? Paul Street. I should follow this new lead and see if it takes me somewhere useful. Let's see. All the decades in this cabinet are prior to 1870. I'm looking for a more recent file. Well, you already found the file. I'm looking for the artwork. Metal locker. Small signeries, seized objects. Some personal effects, probably sent in by patients' families but deemed unsafe by caretakers. One of them is a stack of thick sheets of paper, carelessly bound together, bearing the drawings and paintings of a troubled mind. Only a couple of pictures in their frames. Do you like drawings? No. Do you like drawings? No. Here, are these your drawings? Great wonder! They're back! Someday they will understand light and shape as I understand them. Thank you, friend. If you want to take these cardboard sheets, thanks to you, I have no more need for them. Mine,